Oh my goodness, the list is long, but I'll keep it short. Dr. Moore, of course, of the Office of Diversity and Inclusion, Yolanda Zepeda, also of the Office of Diversity and Inclusion, but also I'd like to reach back a little bit and thank Valerie Lee, who was the chair that hired me. This award means to me the world, of course, and it is a huge, huge honor to be recognized at this level. Hall of Fame, The Ohio State University, Office of Diversity and Inclusion, it is the pinnacle, it's the summa, it's the top of the mountain, really. So, gosh, I mean, it was surprising to hear, and it's a huge honor to be recognized by this award. The why really starts, I suppose, with my abuelita, my grandmother, who first came to the U.S. from Guatemala. And my grandmother, who was working in sewing factory, decided that the way for her to be able to improve the next generation was actually oddly enough, through kind of marrying a tall, white Irish guy that she met at the Catholic Church. And the reason that she's very strategic about this, married this guy, was because she knew she wouldn't have access to kind of education as, a very dark Guatemalan woman. But she knew that, the next generation might have access and face less prejudice. I mention this because that kind of fierce motivation, willpower was passed on to my mother, who was on her way back to Guatemala at 18, and she stopped in Mexico City and met my dad. First, she fell in love with the city, then she fell in love with my dad and had a family. So we were born in Mexico City, and when I was about 5 years old, we moved to California. Again, another single-parent mother story, taking us back, and she put herself through education because she saw the way that we were treated and how we were told as children not to speak that dirty Mexican. She's really the inspiration. So the women of my life are my inspiration. And I can say also that has continued. OSU, if you really think about those who have given me the opportunities to grow the programs that I have at OSU, the legacy programs, the pipeline programs for Latinx youth, all of the things that I've done with SoulCon and comics and the community, those have all been opportunities in and through the incredible women leaders at OSU. The advice I would give to future generations of agents, activists, those who want to make tomorrow a better place, is that we are constantly faced with challenges and roadblocks, things that are thrown in our way to stop us from actually doing the things that we want to do to make a better tomorrow. But not to give up, but to think of ways to work around the roadblocks or under or over. Whenever anybody says no, it's a no in their mind, but we have to be creative, and we need to think and imagine of ways that we can turn that no into a yes. Going back to some of the key leadership figures that were in my life very actively, Valerie Lee, Dr. James Moore, Yolanda Zepeda, others on the campus, who, when I brought them a vision of change, they didn't say no. They saw the vision, and they wanted to allow me to they opened the doors for the possibility for me to actually make that vision happen through resources. And those figures at OSU really, really prepared me for that kind of conversation with upper administration, with those who can allow us to do and make change. How can people get involved and support my work? So many different ways. For students, for folks in the community to, come to the events that I, create, the big comics, animation, multimedia arts events that I'm putting on, getting involved in, sending me your work in terms of me publishing it through my book series, whether it's scholarship or comics through my Latino graphics series. Basically, get in touch with me.